This video is not intended for viewers under the age of 13. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been a little while, but I had some recent family happenings, so I do apologize. But all that aside, today we're taking a look at the Gcreation GDW-02B dust. It's their version of an IDW smokescreen. It's a repaint of their previous release Prowl. So I was pretty excited when I saw this coming in. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. But without further ado, let's see what he has in store for us. Stay tuned. As far as accessories go, he does come with two of these cannons, which are sculpted decently enough. They do have some nice detail. Just cast in black plastic, but the yellow is painted. So they look pretty well. Pretty good. And also two of these shoulder cannons, painted in silver. They do articulate back and forth, so you do have the option of putting them on the shoulders and posing them how you'd like. Really nicely sculpted, in my opinion. So accessories, fairly well done. And those guns do plug into the hand by sliding actually into a port in the back. But they do hold fairly securely, especially when you close up the fist. Well done. As far as the shoulder cannons go, you'll notice that there's a curve going this way on one, and the other actually has a curve going the other way. So there is a specific way that these go on, and what's funny is it's actually the opposite when you put it on the alt mode. So you want to set it in these peg holes on the back in a manner that allows it to plug in, because it won't actually work the other way. And they plug in there like that. Get the other one here. Not the best connection in the world, but definitely worth it in the end. So fairly well done. And here we have dust in his alt mode. It's done pretty well, in my opinion. It does have its faults, to be honest. Mainly, the biggest issue I have is the metallic paint done along the canopy. If you can see, it's a little bit battered here along the front, and it's very difficult to get this arranged perfectly straight. And there is some paint chipping just from manipulating the toy going down along the sides. So it's disappointing. Other than that, I mean, it looks really good. I guess we could call that battle damage. But anyhow, the metallic red is done very, very nice. You got some more here along these fins that you can articulate. You have the choice of putting them up or down like that. Coming along the sides, I'm pretty sure these are the same rims that were on their Prowl or Rebel, but they do look really good. You've got nice red and white details here along the side, along the venting here. Looks really good. The majority of it is just colored plastic though. Coming along the back, just so you can get a good look at it. Nice details here along the tail lights with red and white. Red here on the feet. These exhaust ports or cannons, whichever what you want to call them, they do articulate up and down. So you've got that option. Coming along the sides here, it does look really good for the most part. Much of the same on the sides. And Here it is from the front. You've got 38 and that design there, both throwbacks to the G1 toy. And nice black, white, and yellow details here along the bumper. Like that venting there in the front too. So overall it looks really nice. It's got its faults, but it does look like it leapt out of the IDW cartoon or comic book, in my opinion. Really done well. And the tires are a nice thick rubber, so it rolls with a nice amount of heft, and it does roll very smoothly once you have everything properly positioned. Getting it there is somewhat of a bear, but it's okay. But in my opinion, bot mode is where this guy really shines. So take it as you will. Done fairly decently. And the guns do plug in to these posts here. They've got these plugs on either side, so what you need to do is just simply put them on and you can have that look. Done with both sides. And the shoulder cannons, they plug in to these little recesses here. So you can have him fully armed up if you'd like. So that looks really, really good. Does make it a little difficult to articulate these, but you can a little bit. So you can still have that look too if you want it. You got multiple displaying options with this guy, especially with the back ports too. You can show them off any way that you like. So that is very well done. Alright guys, here we have Dust in his robot mode. This is really where he is best presented, in my opinion. With the options you have as far as posing him, with shoulder options, wing displays, weapon options, it really is a beautiful looking robot mode. But let's get in close and look at some detail. Starting with the head, you've got a nicely painted gray face with white eyes. They really stand out. The head's kind of small, but the white of the eyes really does make it pop. You've got some gray along the crest, and then the wings are painted yellow. Okay, coming down the chest, you've got this same decor that you had in alt mode, folded up on the bumper, nicely done. You've got some gray accents here along the torso, nicely detailed. If you're looking at, you got the blue along the crotch. Coming down the legs, you've got this nice metallic paint, silver and red on the kneecaps. You've got some nice, it's actually, I think that is painted detail along the inner calf. You got the black, and that's painted on the shins with the red trim coming along the sides. You got the metallic red that's on the fins from alt mode. Everything cleans up fairly nice. Big bulky on the side of the legs, but I think it still looks pretty good. And you'll know how you'll have the legs transform properly, because if you don't, these fins will not go into place. But coming along the arms, you've got the red details from the lights coming through. The majority of this is just plastic, but the forearms have some nice detailed red here. Gray plastic for the arm cannons, but overall nicely decored. The 38 and the other symbol do come through in robot mode fairly nicely. But let's take a look at articulation. The head is on a ball, so you do get up and down that much. We'll do a full 360, and you can get a little bit of attitude, so that's cool. Shoulders are where this guy is a bit interesting, because if you can see, these articulate on a different joint. So you can move the arm independent of the shoulders. And you do have a little bit of a butterfly in there, very little, but he is rather limited. He can go up to there, but because of the positioning, it removes the ability to use some of the accessories. He can't get up past there, but if you move the arm around, he can reach well over his head, just about scratch his other shoulder, which that's a bit disappointing, to be honest. And if you look right here, this bump, actually, that really is limiting, because right there it's bumping into that shoulder piece coming across. So that does limit it severely. So if you're hoping to get some articulation past here, you're going to be disappointed. He can just about do a full 360, but then you run into issues with the tabs for the shoulder covers. So if you really wanted to do it, you can manipulate it and allow it to happen, but that is disappointing. He does have upper arm rotation. He does have a double jointed elbow, which gives you well more than 90 degrees. These can articulate, so you have the option of having, I guess, a shin or a forearm guard, and then also a forearm cannon, which is nice. Hands are all one single piece on a single pin, and the thumb is fixed, so they can open and close, but that's it. Articulation in the chest, he does actually have, if you pull up on it, a decent ab crunch. It's there, so that's done pretty well. And he does have waist rotation. Hip skirts can move up, which is interesting, because they flip up this way rather than flipping forward. And then these side skirts do flip up also. So he's able to actually kick up fairly high. And back is a little bit hindered by the backpack, but if you move that, you can get more than you'll ever need, to be honest. You do have upper thigh rotation, which is nice. If you move these pieces out of the way, you can get 90 degrees on the knees, so that's nice. And then coming down to the feet, you do have up and down on the toe, as well as up and down on the heel spur. You do also have the slightest bit of rocker because it's on a ball joint. So overall, the articulation isn't amazing. I do not like the way that the shoulders are articulated, but as far as posing goes, you can get most of the poses that you want. So robot mode, it's fun. It's done fairly well. Not great, not awesome, but just decent. One thing I wanted to show here too on the back, these can actually be manipulated. So if you don't want to see the wings, you can actually flip it down and not have them exposed like it is here. Another option. Alright, here we have Dust all armed up. We've got both of his cannons in. One thing that is a bit interesting to me, the guns are so big that they actually inhibit bending of the elbow, so you're only able to get about that much. So if he's holding his guns, you pretty much have to have them straight out or about like that, because he can't really do a relaxed pose because you can't bend that elbow. So that's a bit of a problem for me. It's because I do like to pose these guys in different ways. Another issue with the shoulders, if you want to get out to the side, you're kind of limited with those guns in there. So with the shoulder guns, so you've got to take those out in order to get any kind of outward pose, because you've got to utilize the elbow or the upper arm rotation. So, and that's kind of disappointing for me, but I did want to point that out. Alright guys, final thoughts. I do really appreciate that this was released. I don't have any regrets about purchasing it. He is a beautiful bot. My only complaints are the issues with the metallic paint here on the tip and along the edges of the canopy, and then the lack of outward articulation and elbow bend when he's fully armed up. It does limit his posing abilities quite a bit. So you have the option of shoulder cannons and arms straight out, or no shoulder cannons and arms limited out. But other than that, I mean, the painted detail looks really good. The colors come out vibrantly in this guy, and he has a really nice shelf presence. But repeated transformations is really going to affect the quality of the metallic paint, as you saw along my canopy edges here. Again, we'll equate that to battle damage, but I've only had this guy and I've transported him about 4 times, and if it's showing that kind of wear already, I hate to see how it's going to last. But other than that, the articulation is done really well, especially it's got that surprising ab crunch. Beautifully decored, just somewhat limited as far as articulation. So is this a recommend from me? It's a soft recommend. If you really have to have that IDW representation of this character on your shelf, then by all means. I did pick this guy up from Toy Dojo, so they currently have them in stock. Hit up Eddie and they will get them to you right away. I ordered this guy, paid my invoice Monday, and I had him Wednesday, so they have super fast shipping. But again, it's a soft recommend. I do hope that you like what you saw. If you did, please, again, like and subscribe to the video. I do apologize for the fading light. Like I said at the start, I am filming this outside due to requirements and restrictions. So I apologize for that. Hopefully my other reviews will be back in my regular area with good lighting and better sound quality, I think. I bet you the crickets are coming through pretty loud now. But again, thank you for bearing with me, and I hope to see you again next time.